I want you to understand that forget whatever that is going on social media. Forget whatever that the Nigeria terrorist states are saying on social media and behaving on their National Assembly. They know that the game is over. I am telling you the fact. The northern Nigeria know that the game is over. I know what is going on within them. The presidency of Nigeria know that the game is over. The Senate President Akpabio knows that the game is over. The only people that do not know, or maybe they are just skeptical, are the gullible one Nigerians who are believing in the Nigeria terrorist army that they have the capability to eliminate Biafrans, not knowing that I actually lost the war already before even the war started.
Only one under his leadership, His Excellency Simon Ekpa. Anybody that is confusing anyone or telling you there is another, no, there is nothing. There's just one, recognized by His Excellency Simon Ekpa. And we can pray. Once he has that communication, Biafrans will understand that Obato Obie does not take no crap from nobody. No matter who you are, you must respect that authority. That authority is the only thing that can protect all of us.
Welcome, fellow Biafrans, lovers of freedom across the world. I welcome you to this amazing platform. Wherever you are connecting from, please like and share this program. Share to all platforms, share to family and friends, share to everyone that you can be able to reach. This platform where you are watching this program is a platform that stands with the United States of Biafra. The United States of Biafra, under the command of our Prime Minister, Mazi Simon Ekpa Njoko, and on the Supreme Command of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, today under the leadership of the Deputy Prime Minister, Dr. Ngozi Oronbose. Wherever you are watching us from, I urge you to share this program so that others can be able to join us and hear what is going on. Nigeria government and their propagandists are not backing down. But no matter what they do, we will continue to pursue the full recognition of Biafra and the restoration on the ground. They will try, but they're going to fail. The saboteurs are going to fail, but we will march strong. We will continue to move forward until our freedom is fully restored. The redeclaration have been made, and we will continue to pursue recognition as we continue also to pursue full restoration on the ground. My fellow Biafrans, pay attention to the video I'm about to play. You are going to learn a lot from this video, but we are not backing down. Freedom all the way. Let's watch and hear what we have on this video.
In the early 1990s, specifically regarding 4 individuals associated with the drug operation. And these individuals include President Tinubu. Meanwhile, the Bola Tinubu presidency has dismissed concerns over a recent judgment, the recent judgment by a U.S. federal court directing American law enforcement agencies to release investigative records related to President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's asserting that the documents contain nothing new. There is no new evidence. What is in that document is what Nigerians already know. That's from the stable of Bayo Nonuga. Oh well. Thanks for joining us. If you're just tuning in, this is VOP this morning. And we do have with us in the studio Mr. Akin Fatunke, who is a communication consultant. Good to have you join us this morning.
Thank you very much, Moses and crew. Always a pleasure to be here.
Thank you very much. And we also have Barrister Darlington Agumwa. Barrister, good morning to you. Welcome.
Yeah, Moses, good morning, and Moses and Fina, Okura and Fina, yeah.
Fina.
How's
Yes.
everything?
Very well.
Yeah, okay.
Now, we're back to this conversation. And like I predicted, that this will come up again. I predicted that sometime back when we talked about this, especially when the conversation around the president being a CIA asset, or was it CIA or FBI? But anyway, an active asset came up. I predicted that this conversation isn't over. And here we are again. Now, Bayo Onanuga said something yesterday, and Nigerians are chiming in on it, that the records, Nigerians have, some sort of information about the president already. It's been out there in the past 30 years. Nigerians have talked about Chicago University, talked about forfeiture monies gotten from drugs, allegedly. I use that loosely. Talked about some of these things. But some Nigerians said, look, regardless of all of that information, Nigerians still voted for Bola Amed Tinubu to be president of Nigeria. Will anything change by this revelation? By the way, you do recall that some time back, Nigerians, where the FBI were to release a 150-page dossier on the president, which they later, did not release. Will anything change? That's the big question. Barrister Darlington.
Yeah, Moses, I have said it the first time Atiku brought this scandal to public notice. I said it that with this revelation, Tinubu will struggle all his life to clean up this mess, not just his presidency. Whether he is in or out of office, this thing can never go away from him. It's not possible. It will never go away. My fear is that with him as the president of Nigeria, you and I are in trouble. Because for you to be an active agent or asset, that means you are giving information to these secret services all over the world.
Barrister, the presidency denied that.
Hold on. Look, Mr. Okoro, look, what they deny is not important here. It is what is on ground. When you are active assets, what are you doing? You are furnishing your handlers with information about your country, because it can't be for other countries now. You cannot be a Nigerian president and you are giving them access about Russia. It's not possible. It must be either within Nigeria or Africa or West Africa. You can see that you and I are in trouble. That is the main issue here. Because it cannot be an active asset for nothing. He is paying for it.
Okay.
And you and I are paying for it. So,
all right,
this particular issue in a Senate climb, it is more than enough for us to say, please, Mr. President, we have had enough of this thing. Let us have a breathing space. Go and rest. America will not allow. Just mention that an American president is a KGB agent. Just mention it in America and see what will happen. But here we are tolerating it.
All right then. Let me bring Mr. Akin Fatuke into the conversation now. Same question I'm going to ask you. Do you think anything will change really? And another added to that would be, if those revelations were prevented from getting into public domain because at the time we heard that he was an active asset, what has changed? Have they fallen apart? Shouldn't the U.S. protect an asset? I believe that's the normal thing. I mean, if one is an asset, which means that they are providing information to help you fight certain things, you should protect that individual. So hiding, not releasing the information at the time could be termed protecting that individual. If they are now saying, look, go ahead and release, what has changed? That's two questions in one.
Yes, thank you very much for those questions. And I am a stickler for law. I pursue truth through a channel and a process that is laid down. And as far as I am concerned, my belief and conclusion is that then go ahead. What is there? I mean, 30 years ago, 15 years ago, yesterday, the next 10 years, you continue to kick the can down the road for me. As far as I'm concerned, no individual, even the American president, even the Russian president, the Nigerian president, Netanyahu, I've just given examples, can stop a gale whose time have come. Now me just break that into 3 compartments. If it did not sail 30 years ago, and subsequently 3 years ago, if there are new evidences to the process, because at one point in time you protect an asset, you don't protect an asset, and all that. If the Freedom of Information Bill had not been drilled to the bottom pot then, so you want to drill it now, why not? For me, I think it should go. The area I disagree with is to say that me as a Nigerian, I'm in trouble. No, I'm not in trouble. Whoever has been indicted is indicted. He should or she should, go and face the law and the process.
Okay.
And when he or she faces law and process, I have been to the US a couple of times, even at worst times and cases.
So, Mr. K, when you said that you are not affected as an individual,
yes, I want to land it. Okay. And people have poked hands at me, and I said, look, I am a different Nigerian, and there is no way, and usually they
exactly my point. You are a different Nigerian, but the issue here in contradiction is that the person who is your president, the person who has the authority.
My president or president. Our president?
No, you're president because you singled out yourself. You singled out yourself because you personalized it. No, you personalized it. So the person that is your president clearly has questions to answer. Don't you think, how is that going to impact on you as an individual, bearing in mind that it has an issue of legitimacy? There are concerns around his questions about him. And when you said that he didn't sell initially 30 years ago, you recall too that there was clearly an issue of forfeiture, monies that were forfeited. That is not in contention. He admitted, to forfeiting money, drug money, which was sent back to the appropriate reporters. Now, that said, before this thing happened, like on the 13th of April, Bayo Ononoga released a State House press statement, that says that, look, Mossad Bolus, Trump's advisor on African policy, was somewhere in France meeting with our president to strengthen...
it's now our president.
Yes.
I'm happy with
to strengthen Nigeria's president, to strengthen bilateral ties between Nigeria and the United States of America in faraway France.
Right.
And Mossad Bolus is the father of Michael Bolus, who is the husband of Tiffany, Trump's daughter. And Michael Bolus has business interests with Gilbert Chagori, who happens to be our president's very close friend. Yes. I am trying to create a network for you to understand.
Go ahead.
And all of a sudden, we have a situation where this judge has said, look, CIA, FBI, go ahead and release all these documents. Documents that they said they couldn't release because they didn't have information. Or, by law, they were not allowed to do that. Certainly, that law has been vacated. So, and we have this person going to France to meet with our president in the face of these revelations. If you're able to put these things together, does it look like America or Trump, the American government is trying to exert, some business concessions for Nigeria? And how does that impact on Nigeria as a country?
Thank you. I'm happy that you changed course because I didn't feel comfortable saying your president.
No, you started it. You said I am.
Can I come in?
No, I want to correct you based on what you said.
He is the president of Nigeria, whether you voted for him or don't vote for him. So
that is not an issue. That is not an issue.
So, but later on you came and said Nigeria's president.
After I had removed you from the equation.
No. I feel comfortable with that, and I feel that.
Go ahead, Mr. Fatike. Go ahead.
All the theories that you have conjured, according to you and according to the theorists, pales into insignificant for me on account of my first statement. If the U.S. judge has asked that the documents should be released, so should it be. It's not for me to now begin to now then say that somebody went to France, somebody is married to whatever. To me, is not relevant. If at the end of the day, there is an indictment 30 years after, so be it.
Okay,
so that is clear.
You are shaking your head. You seem to have an alternative.
Yes, I do. You see, in the world of Secret Service, persons and the objects are traded off. You can sacrifice things in order to get results. That is why I said that we are even Tinubu himself, he's not a free man.
So do you think that the CIA at this point in time have sacrificed their active assets?
There are things Tinubu is doing that have kept him off the hook from those documents. You cannot tell me that the U.S. secret agents are just shielding Tinubu for nothing. It's not possible. Something is going on behind closed doors that you and I may not know. That is the main issue here. You don't know.
Guess
yes, we are sacrificing a lot, both our assets as a country and then our secrets as a country. These have been sacrificed because that is the only thing this FBI and CIA want from you. Something they will use against you in future. So for a president to be an active asset for such a body, what do you think they are getting from Nigeria? Are you giving them money? Do they have it more than you?
Now, Barrister, are you surprised that this is coming at this point in time when even Donald Trump himself made this statement that, you know, during the Cold War or even the Second World War, that Africa in general happens to be a good ground for CIA and their operations?
Of course, because you have a weak president in office now. I've told you, Tinubu is doing everything. When he hired a PR man in America to clean up his image, what was he doing? It's a record that he did that. So he knows that he has a credibility problem. Okay, and he needed America to. So whatever they tell him, he's willing to do it.
Okay, so Barrister, let me stay with you. Let's speak some law here. Mm-hmm. You know, in the lead up to after the 2023 presidential elections, Atiku Abubakar and P2B went to court, you know. At a point, Atiku went to the United States and procured fresh evidence, you know. But unfortunately, the Supreme Court, you know, had the discretion to admit or not those evidence. And they didn't admit them. It is discretionary. They are not compelled by law, according to Rule 70, subsection 2 of the Supreme Court.
Yes, yes.
So the Nigerians had nothing to do. Now, with this revelation now, and the president is currently covered by immunity, going forward, before 2027, you know, during filing of processes in INEC and all of that, these revelations now, if they are indicting or if they indict the president, could they be of any legal importance to parties that want to say, look, the president is not qualified to contest?
Of course, it has. Serious effect. It has. We have seen presidents in America resign from the campaign because of scandalous revelations about them. We have seen it. It will affect him. Except the Nigerian society that I know will condone it as usual. Apart from that, it is a very serious scandal that ought not to be glossed over. Because you are talking of the image of the country. You are talking of the credibility of the country. You are talking of the assets of the country in the hands of such a person.
How serious, Barrister, is this particular, scandal you're talking about when the Supreme Court, threw that fresh evidence that Atiku Abubakar and P2B had out, saying that it came in late? That was the reason they gave before.
My dear, do you know the implication of a foreign body telling you that your president is their active assets?
Barrister,
have you sat down to imagine?
Let's put things in perspective. We know that there's been no criminal indictment against the president. There's been no criminal indictment.
No.
There was an monies forfeited, but there was no admittance to guilt.
No,
There was no admittance to guilt.
That forfeiture, that, oh my God. When you are talking about plea bargain, what do you mean? It's an admittance of guilt now. That was the meaning. You ought to serve 10 years. Say, okay, let me forfeit this so that I will now go free. It's an admittance. There's no other two ways about it. Then why did you forfeit your property? If you legitimately acquired them from the right source, why should you give it to somebody? Why not fight and say, look, this is not drug money. Then we can take it from there. But you forfeited it, that means you admitted. Let nobody come and tell me another thing, because we know how this plea bargain works. It's an admittance of guilt. You don't want to serve the sentence.
You feel the same way, Mr. King?
Yes, it's the same thing. Nobody can tell you otherwise.
I'm moving to Mr. King now. Do you feel the same way?
My words are measured and precise. All the facts as we knew them went through a process, and it was told. I think it was you, yes, that said, no, it was Fina that said, the Supreme Court of Nigeria did not admit those evidence there. And I remember, rational thinking said, well, yeah, it was not admitted then, it was late, technical reasons. Now you have an opportunity at 2027 is coming. So what is the jittery? Let it go through the normal process, and if there is an indictment, not because US is saying that a sovereign country, and I belong to a sovereign country, says yes, we are not, and the voters, why not? I am not going to appropriate and reprobate here, and I begin to speculate on it. Is straightforward. Atiku Abubakar, who took this case to court, now is heading a coalition, and that coalition now have a strong force. Unless if you are saying, if the thing is now done here, go and impeach Mr. President, and you know it's going to be a process. Why don't you wait until 2027? You now have fresh evidence. Go in there and do your kill.
All right, thank you so much.
As far as I'm concerned.
Thank you, Mr.
Thank you.
That's not how it works. What I'm saying in essence is that there is an indictment already. Tinubu himself have not challenged this thing. Rather, what he was doing is to go and stop it from US.
So,
you saw how he begged
the immunity clause in Nigeria Constitution still protecting the president as number one person in Nigeria. So there's nothing we can do at this point in time.
No, don't say so. You can be investigated for criminal infraction while in office, no matter who you are. But you cannot be taken to court. So that particular criminal indictment is enough for you to say, look, I am not fit for this office. That is the ideal thing anywhere in the world.
All right, let's bring in Comrade Destiny Nabulele, who is a public affairs analyst and political
Please, Efina, do you remember that the certificate or drug is not the only thing? There is this Toronto whatever, and then there's another social security number theft, all on one man.
All right, but this one that we have here now, the allegations, and also we have 4 names already. 4 names were what was mentioned in this one. Comrade Destiny Nabulele, good morning. Good to have you join today's, VOP this morning. And now my question is this. Some persons are, especially the presidents, who are saying that there's nothing new we're going to see from this, judgment that was delivered on Tuesday, where we learned that all documents that, were being given or happened to be in the hands of CIA or FBI, 1990 should be laid bare. Recall that there was a global response, and that global response says that the security agencies can decide not to tell you what you want or give out the information you need because of how they operate. Now that we have that global response overturned by a Colombian court, do you think that we're going to see new evidence surface to this regard, to this particular case? And listen, what then do you think will be the fate of our president as number one citizen in Nigeria?
Let me again appreciate your platform for this wonderful opportunity. I am a student of diplomatic practice. For me, as a Nigerian, there is nothing, how many times? So for us, and we all know the president that we have very just now. And before now, he has been trying to see how he can do some kind of cleanup here and there. And you and I know that President Amed Tinubu is not just a mere person, quote unquote. And for me, I don't see the international community dictating to us or trying to tell us or define to us the issue of morality or who is wrong or he has done one crime or the other. When we requested, or perhaps at the eve of the election of this present administration, they refused to let us know its antecedents vis-a-vis in the United States of America or the Americas. So for me, I don't see anything.
So we are unable to hear Comrade Destiny and Abulele give his view there. So we'll just work on that and then we'll get back to Comrade Destiny and Abulele. Now, let's bring it back to the studio now. I think, Mr. Ake, let me come back to you. Yeah. Still, we know that 2027 is around the corner. What do you think the courts will do in this regard if this revelation, when released, indicts the president or, puts the president in a precarious situation?
So, one,
this is as we wrap up.
Even 30 years ago, 5 years ago, I dissociate myself to say, there has been a criminal conviction. There's a way these things go. I do not think that's a criminal conviction. However, to the individual person, I am of the strong belief that if the courts, I don't know which courts we are talking about now, the US courts, and by implication, with fresh evidence presented to the Nigerian courts.
Nigerian courts, exactly.
Naturally, it's going to be an impairment for the person concerned for the next election. Pure and simple.
All right, Barrister Darlington.
Yes. We don't need to go far on this matter. By now, I was thinking that the National Assembly should have done something because the indictment is overwhelming.
The records have not been released yet. You want the National Assembly to act?
Let me, from the evidence available to us now, the National Assembly ought to act on it. Because if you are clean, as you claim, why did you go to the US and begging them not to release your documents and all that? Why? If they are clean, it's a normal thing. You are the one that put out yourself there for a high office, and you say we should not know your background. That is an indictment on its own. Don't let nobody try to cover whatever. And then all this things came out, and you never challenge it. You didn't sue Chicago State University. You didn't sue the CIA. You didn't sue Atiku. You kept quiet. What does that tell you? Because you have nothing to say. So why should the National Assembly be telling me that this particular person is fit for that office? Tell me. Is it the only person in Nigeria? Why should they be getting this type of embarrassment from him? Remember when the Chicago certificate broke out? All Nigerians all over the world, they started reviewing their academic certificate. Is that not true? And somebody is telling me himself is exempted. It affected every Nigerian, and me. The moment you hit there in their airport, they will start looking at you with one part. Maybe this is Tinubu's son. Oh. This is from Tinubu's family. Oh. That is how bad it was that everybody saw it. So must we continue to receive this type of nonsense from America? Every time, whenever they needed something, they will now push button. Mr. President, want to release some documents, and then people will run around and go to US and say, please don't do that. And then something will exchange hands, and then they'll come back.
Well, we don't know if anything exchanged.
We don't know. Yeah, we don't know. What happened there?
The president said
they told us they would release 500 documents. They told us what is keeping them. What, Mr. Moses? What is when something is obvious? Don't push it. I said this thing will never go away Until we now tell Tinubu, go and rest, we have had enough. You have become Nigerian president, fine, no problem. We have seen you all, go and rest. That's what I'm saying.
All right.
Now that you have listened and heard it directly from their conventional media, you will no longer have a doubt that Nigeria has finally ended. You can see that a country that is being run by a drug baron will never ever move forward. This is a man that have a criminal case with the United States, was involved in drug peddling, and yet you allowed him to become your president in the zoo. Thank Chukwu Okike Amara, the Biafrans have gone and gone for good, and we are not coming back. Let them continue their propaganda and their blackmail and manipulation. Every one of us already know that this man is not worthy to be there. Let them continue. We move. Biafra all the way. Thank you.